Hey everybody, welcome back to the page. Today we got a big load of summer squash and zucchini again. Well, if you remember on the last video, I think it was stock in the freezer, we sliced them and put them in Ziploc baggies. Well, today I'm going to show you another way I do them, and that's with the food processor. I take and shred them like you do cabbage for kraut, and let me get the blade out there. What I'm going to do is just put them through the food processor, put them in Ziploc baggies, and about 2 cups in each bag. And that way it portions out right for zucchini bread. And then I also do a zucchini cake, which I'll show you later, that where I put flour, meal, salt, pepper, and other spices together with either shredded zucchini or summer squash, and I take and pat them out like you do a potato cake or a fish cake, and then I fry them, and they go real good with like soup beans or stuff like that in the winter. So make sure when you do this that the little holes right here in your food processor is pointed upward, and that way it shreds it the way it's supposed to. Okay, let's put this on now. You're gonna hear a lot of noise here, but just be patient. We'll what I do? There it is. Okay, I got a little bowl here. I'm gonna throw the ends in, and what I do is I like taking just cut these ends off, and that way it don't end up in the food processor. And with this one, I'm gonna cut it in two. Put half of it on one side of your food processor, like, well, you might as well put it on one side like that. And just let it slice it up. And I'm going to continue doing this until I use all my summer squash this time. And the next time I may cut them in cubes, because I like to fry them sometimes that way too. But I just want to show you the different ways of doing them. I know when I used to get like just an overabundance of zucchini and summer squash, I lost my mind. What do I do with all these? Well, honestly, about 3 to 4 planks is all you need. I did plant about 20 hills this year because I know it was going to be dry, and I wanted to make sure that even if it was dry, it would produce enough to do what I need to do. Now you can this, but you have to do it in the pressure canner. It turns it real mushy, but it will work. It's just, to me, I like the consistency of it better just putting it in the freezer. Now on these big ones like this, I always split them and make sure there's no big seeds in them, and there's not. And then I will cut them in four, into half again, just so they fit into the food processor easier. It's acting like it's getting full, so I'll check it. Now I do these in quart bags, and normally I forgot to get a big spoon. I scoop it out with a big spoon, but well, let's just dump it down in this pot for now, right here, and I'll scoop them out with that spoon out of the pot because I do kind of want to measure part of them to make sure I have just enough to do zucchini bread. And I've done summer squash bread, just trying to use another way to do summer squash, but make it exactly like you do your zucchini bread, but replace it with summer squash. And it done real good for me. But be sure you do wash your squash and stuff real thoroughly. And, that way there's no dirt, debris, or any kind of, thing on there that's going to mess up your stuff when you're canning it or preserving it. I have to be honest. I think if the grid ever went down or the power went out or whatever, I think this would be the one machine I would miss the most because, man, it saves you a lot of time on grading stuff. And today, here later, I think she's still coming. I've got to go to here and pick beans. And I have my nephew's girlfriend is going to come and help me. She's 18. And she's wanting to learn how to break beans and can beans and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring her today and show her how to do it. So we will have a guest today if she's still coming. And the fact that, anytime you get a younger person and they're wanting to learn how to can or preserve or anything, take the time to teach them, people, because, it's getting to be a lost art and people don't know how to do it, especially these younger kids. And, I showed her how to do this a couple of days ago. We done some of these. And, today we're going to go ahead and pick and string and break and try to can some beans by the end of the day. If not, I'll try to get her out here tomorrow and help me can them. And I'm going to make her do hands-on, where she's actually doing it too. So it actually sticks in her mind better. But let me go ahead and get this done. That's actually doing really good as much as we're getting out of it. I've only got one left, but it was full, so I'll just quickly put it back on there. But when I say teach the younger generation, if you're a good gardener and you got a younger person wanting to know how to garden, take the time and teach them. And you never know, they may be the one that feeds somebody that's dear to you, your grandchildren, great grandchildren. And I don't care if it's you're a welder, a mechanic, or what. I promise you, I used to do a little mechanicking and stuff like that growing up. And when my kids got big enough, they wanted to do mechanicking too. And I've said a million times, I'd have been a multi-millionaire if I hadn't bought all the tools that my kids lost. But you know what? I got some kids that can mechanic. And anytime I need something done, I'm not able anymore to get underneath vehicles and, crawl on top of them and all that. But I can call my kids and they'll be right here. And, if I hadn't taught them how to do mechanicking and let them mechanic and, make mistakes and, lose tools and stuff like that, they would have never learned to mechanic. And, if you're a welder, hey, teach your son or daughter to weld. Teach them mechanic, anything that you can teach them. You better teach them, because I'll tell you right now, the schools ain't teaching them what we used to get taught. Okay, let me set this over here for a second. Now, right here's what we end up with. See, that's a lot. But I'm going to run over here and get me a spoon to scoop this up with and put it in the bags. So give me just a second and I'll be right back. Okay, Now, I did bring my measuring cup, and what I like to do on these baggies is taking, open them up, of course, then take and fold this down below where you're going to fill. And that way, as you fill your bag, you're not getting stuff, in this track to where it can't zip. And, you try to keep it as neat and clean as possible. Now, if you kind of pop it, it'll stand up a little bit. Now, I'm going to take and do a couple here where it just has 2 cups. Now, there's 1 cup. Which it looks like the bag may just hold 2 cups. So if that's the thing, we'll just do the baggie full, and that'll all just be 2 cups, and I'll know that any one I grab will have the right amount in it. Okay, just a pinch more. Oh, I'm just putting it in this cup, mashing it down, and kind of pulling it around. Okay, there's another cup. We're gonna stick this one in there, shake it in. Okay, about a half of a baggie or a quarter of a bag, I guess that's a half, is 2 cups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip this over to about a fourth of the way it's still open. Now I'm going to take and roll it up on my belly, and then I'm just going to zip it shut. Okay, and if you want to make it flat at that point, just mash it out, and it don't take up as much room in the freezer. And there you are. And that's 2 cups. That's ready to make, if you want to make zucchini bread or squash bread, that's what I'll do with it, or I'll make squash cakes. But, just be sure you roll that down, because it does make it a lot neater and a lot cleaner. And them little things that zip together, just pop it down, and it'll kind of stand. I got mine to kind of stand up against the bag or the box of bags to help it. Now I just reached in there and got me a cup. I'm gonna do about 3 for bread. Then the rest of it, I'll do it for the what I call squash cakes. I'm sure there's some technical name for it, but I don't know it. But it's just it's what I call them. It's just squash cakes, or I don't know. You call tater cakes, so it'd be squash cakes. Once again, I'm gonna roll it up, zip it shut, and see it kind of takes the air out of there. Then I'm just gonna mash them flat. And there's another one. We'll do 1 more for the bread. Now, one day I will do a zucchini bread and summer squash bread. And today I'm going to be making some squash cakes. And I don't know, there may be some zucchini cakes. I've got a tenderloin in there that needs to be fried, and I'm going to fry it on Mountain Man's Country Kitchen. And we'll be doing some making these into cakes. But so far, it seems like y'all like the Mountain Man's Country Kitchen. And if you do, I will continue it. I absolutely love to cook. Okay. This will be our last one of these. Now, you can do it these with one of them regular graters, like a handheld grater. It's just, I like my food processor. It makes things a lot easier. Now, the rest of these will get like 3 if that's what it holds, because, you know, when I make them little cakes, I usually do it when people's around, and they eat a lot of them. So, you know, we'll do that. We'll do 3 cups in these. And I'm doing them the same way. Just putting 1 more cup. But when you get ready to do your zucchinis, you just do them the same way. But now I will use all my zucchinis because I only have 1, 2, 6, 7 of them. They will all go to zucchini bread, where, you know, they get 2 cups. This one has 3 cups. Let's see how it sits. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, now I'm going to lay these separate, and I will put a 2 on the ones that has 2 cups and a 3 on the ones that has 3 cups. But I'm just going to continue to do this until the zucchini and summer squash is gone. It's the exact same process for both. But I don't like making the videos too long because I don't want you to get bored watching them. But we'll do another video when I go pick her up to pick beans and stuff. And, you know, we'll do the how to string and break green beans. And, you know, I will do another cannon on green beans. Today I'm going to be doing another video, but you won't see it for a couple weeks, on hot pickles. I'm going to be doing, it's a dill hot pickle. And I already have what they call, it's some people call them 14-day pickles. Some people call them 21-day pickles. The honest fact is they're 15 days. You go 7 days in, no, it's 7, 14, 15, 16. It's 16-day pickles. But you go 7 days in salt water. Then you go 2 days in alum or pickle crisp, lime, or whatever. And then you go 7 days in your dill seasoning or whatever season you decide to use. And it makes pickles. And them pickles are, you do not have to, I always heat everything, then pour it over the pickles hot, you know, and that way it soaks into the pickles better. But I usually put them in a jar. I have left them in the buckets, not even got them out of the bucket, just left them right there in the bucket. And I take a piece of cellophane, that clear wrap stuff, and I'll just put it right over the top of it. And that way, you know, it keeps all that stuff under the water. And I've eaten them for 2 years right out of the bucket, and it didn't hurt nothing. They're just as good as it was. But I also like putting them in jars, and that way you can just, you know, get them out as you need them. But, you know, we'll get these videos took care of, and y'all have a good day. Have a blessed day. Be good to each other, and we'll see you on the next video.